3 o'clock in the morning. The Davis family, the phone rings. Perfect timing. I could kosher it, that was timed, right? And the phone rings. I don't even know who it was. I couldn't care less. The phone rings. He picks up the phone. This is crazy. Picks up the phone. And on the other line, on the other end of the line, there's a doctor. And the doctor, Dr. Smith, says, "Hi, is this Mr. Davis?" "Yes, it is." "Can you please rush down to the hospital? You and your wife immediately." "What happened?" "Just come straight to the hospital, okay? Okay?" He doesn't know what happened. Wakes up his wife. "Gotta go to the hospital." "Why?" And then they remember. Their little David last night went out with his friends, 16-year-old boy, and they don't remember that he came home. They run straight to his bed, and they see that the bed is made with the pillow. They couldn't believe it. Shema Yisrael. And all of a sudden, the mind is racing. The mind is racing. Almost uncontrollably, they're thinking, okay, their son is not home. He didn't come back last night. We thought he came back. We thought he's going to come back. And now the doctor is calling from the hospital. Shema Yisrael. They get to the emergency room, and they're greeted by a team of doctors and surgeons. And they don't say a word to them. They rush them straight to the back. And they see behind the glass window, on an operating room, is their little son. And surgeons all around operating, trying to save his life. And the mother starts screaming, "What happened to my David? What happened to my David?" They calm it down. They take her for a meeting with the top surgeon. And he explains that last night they were in a very bad car accident. He's the only one that has a chance to make it out alive. Everybody else, they're already in Olam Ha'emet. They couldn't believe it. And the doctor says the next 24 hours are pivotal. He must wake up in the next 24 hours. If he doesn't wake up, we don't think he'll ever be able to wake up out of this. They start crying, miserably. And by his bedside, Tehillim, say Tehillim, spreading out to everybody, saying Tehillim, praying for David, praying for him. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. After a month, social workers, they come and they say, "You have to go home. You have children at home. We'll be by his bedside. If David makes any improvement, we'll let you know right away. Please go take care of yourselves, go take care of your children." They're forced out of the hospital. And sure enough, they go home. And the whole time they're thinking about their little David. I hope he's going to come home. We're hoping he's going to come home. Bezat Hashem, he's going to wake up. After a week, they get again a phone call from the top surgeon. He wants to have a meeting with them. They're hoping maybe there's improvement. They get to the hospital. And the doctor says, "I'm sorry, there's been no improvement." And then he takes out papers and he says, "But if you sign this, then he could go to a better place. And he doesn't have to suffer." And Chas v'Shalom, to learn any halachot from this mashal. But why you want him to suffer? Just sign. And the wife is saying, "No way." And the father is trying to tell her, "He's right, yeah, let him stop suffering." And sure enough, he signs the papers, and the wife is so upset. "How could you do that?" And he signs the papers. He gives them back to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Okay, tomorrow afternoon, please bring the family and say final goodbyes to David." And sure enough, the next day, the whole family made it to the hospital. The brothers go in first with the sisters, and they're broken, they're devastated. They stand next to their brother and they say, "We're so sorry. We're so sorry for all those fights. We're so sorry for everything that we did. Please forgive us." And they cry and they walk out. And then the mother comes in, being held up on both sides by nurses, trembling, shaking, crying on her son's lifeless body. "David, why'd you leave us so young?" And crying miserably over her son. They have to force her out of the bedroom. Take her out of the bedroom, her son's bedside. And then the father walks in last. The father's supposed to be a man, but he's anything but a man at this point. He's broken. He goes into his son's, the bedroom that he's in, the bedside that he's in, the hospital bedroom. And he's there, he's sitting next to his son. And he takes his hand and he starts holding his hand. And he says, "David, I know and you know that you're perfectly fine. And I know and you know that these doctors, they're wrong. They don't have a clue what they're talking about. And you're full of life. So please do me a favor. By the time I count to 3, just give me a small tap on my hand and show me that you have life. And I'll get all these doctors to start operating back on you, and we'll walk out of this hospital together. All right, David? Let's go. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Nothing. And the surgeons outside, they're signaling to the father, come out. Your time is up. They got to disconnect. And the father's shaking. He says, David, this is the biggest and last favor I will ever ask from you in my life. I'm begging you, please, by the time I say 3, just give me a tap on my hand. I'm begging you, David. And he starts counting. 1, 2. And as he says 3, he feels the slightest tap on his head right there. He's like, oh my God, David, yeah, thank you. They say, what happened? They run into the room. David tapped me. What do you mean, tapped you? He put pressure on my head. Impossible, impossible. I'm telling you, he did it. David, do it again. 1, 2, boom, 3. And sure enough, they see that he tapped him. He jumps for joy, runs outside, greets the family. David applied pressure. David applied pressure. The surgeons, they run in. They start operating on him. And 2 weeks later, this unbelievably happy couple walk out with their children and David included from what the doctors thought was for sure death. This beautiful story I heard from my brother, Rabbi Ariel Beshem, Rabbi Spiro. What happens on Yom Kippur, there's bad angels. The bad angels, the doctors, they're maybe going to try in the Beit Din Shel Mala to say this person is dead. Borei Olam, why are you keeping this person alive? Unplug! Unplug! He's dead, he's not doing anything, he's sleeping. This is a waste. Just unplug. And Borei Olam, our loving Father, He says, just give me a tap. Show me there's a sign of life. A little bit. Just make a move that you're going to wake up. And I'll show all these malachim kavyachol how wrong they are. This beautiful parable, it's just a mashal, just a parable, shows us how important it is these days especially to make a move. And of the greatest moves that we can make in our life is truly to wake up. Because the greatest sin, in a way, is to kill time. Zukhrenu lahayim. We ask Hashem, please give us life. Life means a life of meaning, a life of connection, a life of devekut to Borei Olam, a life of trying to get more accomplishments like Rabbi Akiva, making more out of our life, going into the new year with new kabbalot, a new burst of unbelievable energy. That is Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. That is Teshuvah. Now we're able to go into Yom Hadin with a strong commitment. We're going to be better. We're going to be greater this year. We're going to work more on our connection. That is the avodah. Only once we have Rosh Hashanah in a way can we come to maximizing Yom Kippur, to do a true Teshuvah. Not only to walk out clean, okay, I have no avirot, and we'll be back next year. Chas v'shalom. Yom Kippur is a gift. We're not saying goodbye. We're just coming to say hello even more. We're coming stronger. We say, Borei Olam, I'm not leaving on Motzei Yom Kippur. After Yom Kippur, we walk out with a stronger connection to Hashem. This unbelievable connection to Borei Olam. That's what Yom Kippur is. That by the time Yom Kippur is over, we feel like new people. Yishtabach Shemo Borei Olam. I can't wait for the new year. I can't wait to restart. I can't wait to mitchazek in my avodat Hashem. That is the avodah that we should be focusing on. Getting closer to Hashem. Not only teshuvah out of yir'ah, out of fear, but teshuvah out of ahava, out of unbelievable love. Realizing that Hashem is out to give us, not chas v'shalom to get us. And He loves us endlessly. And He wants to give us. And the greatest gift is life and a connection to Borei Olam.